Hello and welcome to the Back Nine Report, where every week Fred Altvater and I check in on the world of golf to bring you the latest news, insights, analysis, interviews, recaps, previews. Hey, we cover anything and everything golf. In other words, if it happened in golf, we have it for you. Fred, hi, how are you today?
Hey, Carlos, fantastic. A little cool up here in Cadillac, Michigan, but we got to looking around. After the U.S. Open this last weekend, the Olympics now, the men's field is set. We want to talk about that a little bit, right?
We do, and we have to start by saying that we're going to have on the men's side, they finish right now the qualifying with the U.S. Open. The women finish this weekend after the KPMG PGA Championship. But let's talk about the men because the field is set, and there's going to be three new medalists. And the reason for it is because gold medalist Justin Rouse, silver medalist Henrik Stenson, and the bronze medalist Matt Kuchar, they will not be there. They didn't make it. They had to make the cut and do well at the US Open. They didn't do that. So what happens now is that the Olympic men's golf field is already set for the 60 that are going to be there. And when the ranking became official Monday, no golfer, the US Open was the last draw, right? From there to try to get in. There were a lot of expectations to see because Torrey Pines could make or break a lot of people, right? But nothing happened. Everybody that was inside the 60 remained there. Nobody came in, nobody fell out. So on arguably one of the tightest races, you can say that it was the US, the American roster. Okay, 10 of the top 15 players are hailing from the US. So the foursome golfers who ultimately qualified to play in Japan include Justin Thomas, number 3 right now, Colin Morikawa. I know you're happy about that, number 4. Bryson DeChambeau is there, number 5. And Sander Schauffele, number 6. On the outside, we're looking in, we're Patrick Cantley, number 7, Brooks Koepka, who's number 8, Patrick Reed, number 9, Webb Simpson, 13, and Tony Finau was 15. Now for Brooks, which I was hoping he would, but he finished T4. If he would have won or finished solo second, he would have made it. He would have taken Sander out of to grab the final spot, but he didn't. So Fred, a total of 60 golfers will be competing in the 72-hole stroke play format. They're going to be playing at what is called the Kasumigaseki Country Club in Kasahata, in Saitama, Japan. That's just about 35 miles northwest of downtown Tokyo. And the tournament will be July 29th to August 1st. So, Fred, between 1 and 4 golfers can compete from any country based on their place of the Olympic rankings, which is a modified version of the world rankings. All players inside the top 15 qualify, so as long as they are not more than top 4 players within the country. So how about this qualifying so far for the Olympic golf?
Yeah, it's going to be, there's only about now, 12, 15 guys of the really top players that are there. So they're going to have kind of an easy walk through this thing, it looks like to me. Just some of the names, you got Louis Oosthuizen, we just saw finish runner-up, right? You've got Tyrell Hatton. You got Rory, of course. You got John Ram. You got Hideki. We got Hovland, Leishman, Joaquin Neiman. Sergio is going to be there as far as we know. So these guys are the guys that are, along with the 4 Americans, they're the big names that are going to be in this thing. So the rest of them from other minor countries aren't quite the quality that we see like week in and week out on the PGA Tour. But it's going to be interesting still. The field, like you say, is pretty much now set unless somebody opts out and doesn't want to play. Like Dustin Johnson would have been there, except Dustin said about a month ago that he doesn't want to be in it. So Xander Schauffele gets his place. It'll be interesting. I know you're a big Olympics fan. You love it. And, it was fun to watch in 2016. So I'm going to be watching for sure. But it's kind of like the Masters. It's a limited field. And so the really good players have a better chance of medaling and winning.
They do. But if you come to see what happened in the, I don't know what the setup will be in Japan, right? We'll learn more about this. But the setup in Brazil was really interesting. The course didn't favor anyone, and you see what happened. Justin Rose, Henrik Stenson, and Matt Kuchar rose to the top. On the women, which we're going to talk shortly about it, it was similar. In Bay Park, uh, Lydia Ko and Chang Chang Fong were the Olympic medalists. But right now, we could say yes, the Americans have like the top players. John Ram is going to play for Spain. There's some, and I'm, by the way, I got to send some kudos to Rafa Campos from Puerto Rico. He's going to be there. So awesome for my native Puerto Rico. He's going to be, I know he's not going to win, but anyway, he'll be there. But that's no knock on you, Rafa, but there's a lot of big players. But anyway, a good thing to see. I mean, I look forward to see some of those young talents, because you mentioned one thing about the Olympics, and one thing that it's for sure is that golf, and this we talked about it last 5 years ago when they were going to Brazil, is that a lot of players that are maybe not US based don't know really what it is to play in golf, what it means to play on the Olympics, because they're used to play for themselves, not for their country. They sort of do it when they do the Ryder Cup and the President's Cup, but it's not the same thing. That is a team event. Here, your team is the country. Now you're representing only your country. You have to go against everybody else. And outside of the US, there's a lot of passion for the Olympics and representing your country. So you can expect a lot of those players, like let's say Erasmus Hochgaard, like an Abraham Anser, like a Joaquin Niemann, okay, those type of players that have a lot of passion and are young and don't know better. All they know is that the Olympics are this big thing, and they could go out there and perform really well. It's going to be interesting to see Rory McIlroy. He wasn't there the last time, because one of the things that we have to say also, and be clear about it, those 60 are right now set up, but it could be different, and there could be some others filling in, because we don't know who the top players, like it happened 5 years ago, the Zika virus was the thing that they were using as an excuse not to go there. So right now there's the COVID-19. We don't know if that's going to affect even what's happening there right now with a lot of people against doing the Olympics, or if it's going to affect any of the players right now. I don't expect it that much. If anybody's going to just go out like Adam Scott and Dustin Johnson, it would be more because of the schedule, not because of the virus, because I think that's right now, that's something that they can get anywhere, and that we know much better about it right now. So Fred, I do expect a lot of Hideki Matsuyama. It's a lot of, not that he's going to win, but I'm expecting a lot of, they're going to play in Japan. So there's going to be a lot of attraction from them. So we'll see. I truly think it's going to be an interesting tournament, even though what you're saying is true. It's going to be very limited, only 60. But I do think that the majority of them are going to try to pull a big win here and get that gold medal in their chest.
Well,
Now,
the other factor of this thing too, Carlos, is like you kind of mentioned, is that it has really spread the world of golf into other parts of the globe that it really wasn't a big deal before. And so they have maybe 2 or 3 young guys that see this and start working and start wanting to get better. And so they get developed better, and we will see them now on the world stage. So it just gives us a whole new deal. And you're right. It's about coming together as a world in a sports competition, and meeting other people and interacting and spreading the word all around the globe. So in that respect, this is a wonderful event. If you're just looking at it from strictly who's going to win, you've got about 10 names that probably you can pretty much be pretty safe saying, well, they're going to be right near the top, if not one of the 3 medals. I'm going to start pulling from my guy, Morikawa, right now. I hope he gets up there and gets a medal. But it'll be fun. And we've been talking about it and thinking about it. So it's kind of like the next thing. We got this, and we got the Ryder Cup coming up, and we got the FedEx Cup. I mean, the season's winding down. We got the Open Championship. We got these really big stuff coming all over the next 3 months. There's a lot of stuff going on.
Yeah, I'll be pulling for the Spain team. Hey, John Ram and Sergio Garcia. Come on, what's gonna be better than that?
Well,
Vamos!
The way Rom's playing right now, you can't bet against him. That's for sure.
And he definitely wants to play there. He knows it means a lot to go there and do that. Now on the women's side, they're still not set up finally, okay, because the women's KPMG championship is this weekend. And but so far, and again, let's apply the same thing. The South Koreans and the Americans have the advantage right now because the South Koreans, we know, have a ton of talent that they could fill two teams. Right now, Yin Jung Ko, Inbee Park are leading. So all three, differently from the men, all three medalists from the women so far are in. And we could say that the only way that they're not going to be in is if they really they get injured or anything, because Inbee Park is number 2. Yin Jung Ko is number 1. After that, if you see Lydia Ko is number 11 in that ranking, and Shan Chang Fong is number 16. No way they're going to fall outside of the top 60. But other players like the Cuerda sisters and the Americans are there, Daniel Kang and Lexi Thompson. Those 4 so far, but you can see for Lydia Ko, you're going to see also from Japan, there's going to be players that, like from the Philippines, we saw Yuka Sasso just winning recently. Nasahata Oka is the one that's going to draw a lot of attention there. Local player, Patty Tevatanakit from Thailand, Min Jae Lee is going to be there. Hannah Green, Arya Yatanagar, and also that pairing of her with Patty Tevatanakit representing Thailand. That's going to be amazing. So Sophia Pop-Up from Germany. Fred, how about the women's play?
Much deeper field, a whole different. The women is such more an international game to begin with. I mean, they travel all over the world, and they have been bringing young women. You know, we've seen it like in Toledo at the University of Toledo. They've been bringing young women in from Thailand for their golf program for a long time. And so these other countries have seen it with their young girls. Hey, here's an opportunity to really have a successful career. Korea jumped on that, and some of these other countries. And so the LPGA, the women's game, is much more international in scope. And so it's a much deeper field. It's really probably much more competitive, maybe a little bit more interesting than the men even, Carlos.
It could be, and definitely we're going to get a good feeling about it because all those top players want to be there. And so it's going to be just another big tournament. 60, but it's going to be a big tournament that they're used to play. So we're going to get a lot of more familiarity than with the man. But we'll be reporting about that final women's field as soon as we know about it. So anyway, any final words before we close that one?
No, well, I'm sure we'll be talking about the women some more once we get all the final things. But yeah, it's pretty much wrapped up, like you said. There's not going to be much more changes.
Yeah, it's going to be very difficult. I think that like the man, nobody will get in and nobody will get out, but we'll see. Anyway, thank you for joining us. Subscribe to our channel. Remain there to do and keep yourself up to date with the latest in golf news and information. Thank you for joining us.